16, sweet 16. Think, feel, believe. Yeah. Hey. Hello out there. Hello. Think, feel, believe. 16. Hello, everybody out there. Yes, I'm so happy to be here. Selects on me. Selects on me. Selects on me. Oh, selects on me. Select on me. Yuck. Whoopee. So, where we at? I know where we're at. You're there and I'm here. That's where we're at. So, what I'm been trying to do here, of course, in the last video we talked about, I kind of gave the example to my son, because I've had so much blind experience doing this. There's a lot of coaches out there that will teach and talk about these kinds of things, manifestation, thoughts become things, all that kind of stuff. We're going to go over it. There's all those sayings out there, about stuff. As a man thinketh, so he is. Darn tootin' straight and that's the way it is. Yeah. So I had a lot of blind experiences that I've shared that's how I learned, and that's how I found out that this stuff is real. As far as the reality of it is that your thought life, the things that you're thinking, what you're believing, you're feeling, and believing about things, and these things are happening in your life, and then these situations keep perpetuating. It's like you're always running into it, like the dude I told you about, the guy that always said, "Shh, happens," "Shh, happens." He'd always say that, and you know what? And then stuff was always happening. So I have a story. Another one of the stories that came into my life, there was so many of these things that, I was doing it blindly all the time, and then the result would come, I'm like, oh my gosh. It's like I would catch myself, right? I think those were the really poignant things, the poignant things was that I was catching myself. I was thinking, feeling, and believing about things, and then they were happening, or they would happen, and some of those things I talked about in my other videos. Are you watching in succession? Because it's important that you're watching. Selects.me. Think, feel, and believe. 1. And you know how to count. 2 and 3. Watch them. Listen to me. It's succession. It's for a purpose. Okay. Okay. So many times that would happen to me, I would think, feel, and believe something about it, and then it would happen, and I'd be like, oh gosh, and then having to take responsibility. Oh man, that's tough to swallow sometimes. When it's basically you're doing it to yourself, and if you don't think that you got the power that's going to do this, well, then think again, because it is. It would just be fascinating to look at the span of somebody's life and be able to say, that, and then having them tell you frankly what their thought life was, what the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs they were having on a continual basis. I mean, I was just watching some guy, very successful man. We don't want to use no names here to protect the innocent, but it was one of the things that this guy did, and I don't think, some of these people don't even know that they're doing it, and they're doing it, is that they're doing it blindly. And, this guy was saying, everything's going to be great success. It's going to be a great success. It's going to be phenomenal. Everything is going to be great. It's going to be phenomenal. And he always spoke into those things, right? And he ended up being a very, very successful man, and it was like, there's somebody out there, and there's things that they're saying, and they don't really know what they're saying. They're just saying in them, and then they experience, and then we all, there's a fighter out there, I won't name any names, and they would interview him after his fights, and he would say, this is exactly what I said I was going to do. He would call things out and then knock somebody out in the second round or whatever it was he was calling it out, and it was like, I wonder if this guy really understands what he's doing too, because I've seen a lot of successful people out there do things and say things, and it's like, I wonder if they're really knowing it, or they're just kind of doing it blindly too. So
There's another story for you. Are you ready for a story? A story. Ready for a story? Oh, here's another story.
Okay, so one time in my, one of those things where I was like, it's like my discovery of all of this, and doing everything blindly, doing it blindly taught me the reality of it hardcore in my face, but this time I done wised up and I took me a different direction. So let me tell you something. And so one time I'm in a business, and I had this guy that I set out to do some marketing for me. It was towards the last half of the year, last end of the year, and I just really had this desire to, and I started speaking. I started speaking. I want to write new business. I want to write new business. And then I kept speaking. I want to write new business. I want to write new business, and then I wasn't writing new business, and I was getting frustrated, and I was like, I want to write new business, and I was getting frustrated. I was like, I want to write new business. Oh, I want to write new business, and then it came towards, and I spoke this, that started up in, let's see, was like kind of September-ish, and then October, November, and then I finally got to December, and I was at the end of my wits, and here I got in December, and then I'm in a business where I get residual income, and so then I got my commissions, like, oh yeah, residual income, oh yeah. When you build up a business that gives you residual income, then, it's kind of like you're going to get paid, so, but anyway, so I come around about the middle of December, I'm like, oh gosh, thank God for residual income, and then, and then it dawned on me. I want to write new business. I want to write new business. Well, if I want to write new business, I will continue to want to write new business, and I will continue to want. You do not want to use the word want. I want this, I want that. If you use want, you will continue to want. Does that make sense? Of course it does, silly. Of course it does. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So this is the first time the first time consciously. It's one thing to do this blindly and not know what you're doing. And, but then to do it consciously, that's a whole nother ball of wax. That's a whole nother ball. But this one was pretty easy. I started to go, oh my gosh. I started to say, I write new business. I write new business every week. I write new business every week. I write new business every week. Now, okay, something important. Listen up. Here's what important. It's what you think. Feel it. Feel is the important. Feel is the important one. Very important. Feel it. The feeling. Okay, the feeling that you're having. It's very important what you're feeling. So, think, obviously the thought, right? You're speaking the thought. I write new business every week. That's the thought. Okay? But then you have to add the feeling in it. So, we all somewhat know of a good time that we've had and how it made us feel really good. You feel really good. It feels really good. And so I would feel good about it. I would bring in the feeling with it. I write new business every week. I write new business every week. And I started speaking that. And you say, I write new business every week. And then the other thing that you got to do is you got to be patient. You got to be knowing that you're driving down the road, and even though you can't see the road, and the road is all dark, you just got to have a faith and just to keep it driving and knowing that the lights are going to light that road up for you. So that's what you got to do. You got to have faith. And if you got faith, then you need to go to the next video. Yeah.